Hey, when that deep threat is going over the top, you need capable players that can make a stop. We're going to talk about 7 safeties that the Houston Texans need to keep their eye on in this upcoming free agency. Coming up next. What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Ed Honcho, your Houston homeboy, your Houston homer, a.k.a. Senior Saucy, and this is Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer channel, so that means we're talking about all sports, but only Houston. And if you want to become a fresh ingredient in the sauce, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you drop some of your flavor down in the comment section below. I love to hear what you think, but man, let's just get in it to win it. So today we're going to talk about a major need for the Houston Texans, continuing on that defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about safeties. To help bolster that secondary, we're going to talk about 7 guys that the Houston Texans should probably keep an eye on in free agency if they want to improve the porous secondary that we had last year. Now, some of these guys are free safety. Some of these guys are strong. Some of these guys are just more versatile DBs. But the thing about this is not in any particular order. This is not from my least favorite to favorite. Nothing like that. It's about 7 guys that the Texans definitely should keep an eye on if they want to make an upgrade. Let's just stop talking about it. First guy I want to talk about is Kenny Vaccaro, currently a safety for the New Orleans Saints. A guy that we've been looking at for a long time. I mean, that we've known about. He went to Texas, about 6 foot, versatile guy, can play a little bit of corner, can play a little bit of safety. A guy that can come up to the line, add a little bit of pressure to it if necessary. I think this season had 60 tackles, 1.5 sacks. Only played 12 games. Had off-season groin and wrist surgery, so it's a little bit of a concern, but we'll see what happened. He actually played 12 games, and I think he played all those games with a torn groin. So that shows a little bit of toughness. I don't want to necessarily say it's a durability issue. Guy that made a little bit under $6 million last year. Definitely somebody you want to consider, but the likelihood of him leaving the Saints, I don't really see it being very high. But hey, if he's going to test the market, I'm all with trying to give the man a shot. Next guy I want to take a look at is Trey Boston. Signed a 1-year prove-it deal for a little under $1 million with the Chargers. End up having the best year of his career. Probably the youngest safety on this list. The reason why I like him, a younger guy, taller guy, 6'1". I'm all about the height with the DBs because I think that's just an added element of pressure when it comes to dealing with receivers. I want to say he had about 80 tackles, 79 tackles, something like that. I'm rounding up. 8 passes defense and 5 interceptions. So a guy like this is probably going to be looking to get paid after having such a good year. I don't see why we don't pay him on the Texans. Hey, and he's from Victoria, Texas, not too far from the house. Hometown guy, kind of, sort of, but hey, we're going to show a little love. We're going to reach out a little bit, but hey, we're going to show some love. He's still from Texas, a guy that I would love to bring home and put in the Texans uniform. All right, so the next safety I want to talk about is Ricardo Allen, currently on the roster with the Atlanta Falcons. Thing about Ricardo, solid guy. Played, I think he missed a game last year. Had about 54 tackles, 2 passes defense, and 1 INT. Only thing he's a little shorter than I like at 5'9", but had a very reasonably priced deal last year. Made just over half, about $600,000. A little over $600,000 last year. So without the stats just jumping off the page at you, and being 26, still having a little bit of tread on the tires, it's definitely a guy I'd keep an eye on. Not saying he's the highest on my list. Like I said, this is not a ranking. This is not in any particular order. But just a guy that you would keep your eye on. Could definitely be an upgrade on what the Texans have. Now, so far so good. You guys let me know what you feel. If you think that I'm missing something, or you at least get to the end of the video before you talk about who I'm missing. But if you like what I'm talking about, if you don't like what I'm talking about, man, drop it in the comment section below because, like I say, you guys are the ingredients that make the sauce so fresh. So without your opinions, without your comments, there is no sauce. So go ahead and let me know how you feel up until this point. Like I say, we still got a couple more to go. We're going to talk about 7 in total, but let's go ahead and get on to the next safety. Now, the next name is a guy that a lot of people have been asking about, a lot of people have been talking about, Eric Reed from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Made just under $6 million last year. Had a solid season. Missed about 3 games. I want to say he had, 52 tackles, 2 INTs, about 4 passes defense, something along that line. I might be a little bit off on that. But a good coverage guy, so when it comes to tackling, but hey, as long as you can keep a body on the man, then we can't complain about that too much. Would definitely be an upgrade over some of the things that we have, and I know this is a guy that a lot of people have inquired about. A taller guy, like I say, 6'1", same age as the last safety we talked about, Ricardo, 26, so it means definitely has some tread on the tire still. A guy that I would definitely love for the Texans to pick up if the price tag is right. But who knows? He may want to stay in San Francisco with the emergence of Jimmy G, and he may feel like there's some things going on there. That'll be a very interesting guy for the Houston Texans to take a look at, and I would not mind seeing him in a Texans jersey. So the next guy we're going to talk about, similar to the cornerback situation, I am not opposed to keeping some of the guys that you have and just maintaining them. We're going to talk about Marcus Gilchrist, part of that Clemson connection that the Texans have. Probably, if you look at statistically, was the worst performer out of the 7 guys that I'm going to talk about today. But like I say, being familiar with what he has, and I think in the situation he was put in last year with who at DC, he just wasn't able to capitalize. I think with Romeo Crennel, he will prevail. So I would not be opposed to bringing this guy back. Had a relatively cheap contract by standards of most of these guys, $2 million, but only had 45 tackles, had a forced fumble, had a sack, and I want to say had 1 interception. They did a couple of things last year that made us say kind of, but his durability compared to a lot of guys on this list, he was available for all 16 games. He started 13 games. I don't see why not. I have no problem bringing him back. And like I say, under the tutelage of Romeo Crennel, I see everything on this defense getting better, whether or not we bring in big names or not. So I will not be opposed to retaining the services of one Marcus Gilchrist and keeping that Clemson connection alive. All right, so I said that this list is in no particular order, but for the sake of transparency, man, this is probably my favorite player on the list. A big reason why I wanted Darren Perry from the Packers to join our secondary or join our defensive coaching staff in hopes that he could lure this guy to the Texans would be a big upgrade at strong safety. Probably the best guy on this list. Like I said, missed 4 games with some hamstring and groin injuries. Played 12 games, had 68 tackles, and probably the only other guy who had more tackles on this list was I think Trey Boston, and like I say, he played a full season. So definitely something you have to think about. Those other 4 games could have been a significant number of tackles. But like I say, probably the most talented guy, made just under $7 million. I think would be a reasonable contract. 29 years old, not too old, not too young, but still has some quality years left in him. And I think that he would be great for this Texans window of opportunity with Watson and everything else that we have going on. I would love to find a way to get this guy from being a cheesehead and get him down south and throw him in a Texans uniform, man. Let me be honest with you, this is my favorite guy on the list. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Still got one more to come, and we'll talk about the next guy, and it's a guy that a lot of people have mentioned, and we'll see how y'all feel. All right, so the last guy, number 7 on this list, really no number. Like I said, there's no particular order, but we're going to talk about LaMarcus Joyner. Had a solid contract last year, only playing for $500,000. Is going to probably get paid in the offseason, but only had 49 tackles, 12 games, similar situation. I think 3 INTs and a forced fumble. Thing I don't care for too much about him being a shorter guy. I think about 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around that range. I'm in preference of seeing taller secondary players, kind of emulating some of what Seattle did. I'd like to see some guys out there that have a little height on them and a little bit of speed. But, hey, if the guy can make plays, I can't take that away from him. And I know a lot of people, especially Sauce Nation, have been asking about LaMarcus Joyner, especially on the cornerbacks video. A lot of people asked my thoughts on him. I like him. Definitely like Burnett a lot better. But, hey, definitely be an upgrade to what we have in the Texans uniform currently right now. So, I have no complaints about it. So, Sauce Nation, you got to let me know how you feel. Those are my 7 guys that I think the Texans should really strongly consider taking a look at this year, even though one of them is already been with the Texans. Maybe you may or may not like that. But let me know how you feel. That's a complete list. I want to know what you think. And again, if you're not a fresh motherfucking ingredient, if you're not a part of this flavor, man, if you're not with the shit, make sure you hit that damn subscribe button. Make sure you become a part of this because, like I say, it's always new content dropping every single day. Maybe Texans, maybe Rockets, maybe Stros, maybe a combination of everything. Make sure you become a part of the live stream because it's the most lit shit happening in Houston sports. I don't care what the majors are doing. It's all about Sauce Nation. It's all about the Sauce Sports Network. So it's not just me. So make sure you hit that description box below. Plenty of other people talking good Texan stuff. And if you really like the flavor, if you're really liking what's going on, I urge you to go to patreon.com/saucesports and consider pledging even just $1 to help the Sauce Sports Network grow. We got a lot of things in the future that we plan on doing. It's going to cost a little bit of change. And I'd like to make those things happen. I'd like to bring it directly to you. But with that being said, it's your boy at Honcho, man. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Most of all, Sauce Nation, you know I love you. Y'all stay saucy. I'm out. And make sure you become a fresh ingredient and hit that subscribe button. If you done already done that, you like Honcho, man, I'm way ahead of you. Make sure you caught all the flavor that you may have missed down in the corner below. Catch some of that fresh sauce. And if you have not, if you just feel like you need more than just the YouTube flavor, if you need more sauce, if you need that in-depth sauce, then make sure you hit the saucesports.com website, link right there below.